Alberta, you know, the commies in Alberta, they just keep on being themselves, and now the deficit is past $10.8 billion. Past 10.8, I think you might as well say 11 billion. That's kind of as close to 11 billion. 10.8 is damn is to swear, and don't you know they're just a bunch of scallywags, those people. And then you got the other guys on the other side, they keep on saying, let's unite the right, and you got all the voting coming on here in March. And I don't get it. I mean, what right? I mean, these guys aren't right. Now, one person has said anything that will be right-wing. All they say is, let's merge. We've been separated for a long time. We never did get along, and now let's kind of shack up again. But what are you going to do that's different? Go to a marriage counselor. Somebody would tell you, I think, that you got to do something different. You can't do the same old stuff because nothing changes. Unite the right. I'm kind of tired of hearing that. Right for Alberta? That would be right because they are the solution, the politicians of the day. Probably of all days, they are the problem. I just don't get it anymore. But here, let me share a little story with you. There's a man. He walked into a bar in Edmonton recently, and now this bar owner, he's kind of gone to, you know, the economy stuff. I think wanted to save the world, right? So he's got robots. That's where I'm trying to go with this. The robot bartender goes up to the guy and says, can I help you? He says, I'll have a glass of whiskey. So he brings the whiskey. He says, what's your IQ? The guy says, 168. Oh, that's pretty cool, says the robot. So he starts talking to him about Einstein and all that kind of stuff. And the guy drinks his whiskey and he leaves. Another guy comes in and the robot comes up and says, what do you need? He says, I'll have whiskey. What's your IQ? Brings him the whiskey. 110. He talks about the Edmonton Eskimos and a bunch of other stuff going on in Edmonton. He drinks his whiskey and he goes. Another guy comes in, third man, I'll have a whiskey. The robot says, here's your whiskey. What's your IQ? 52. He says, are you still happy with the NDP? Hey, I'll come back soon and we're going to have another story for you. From the right, that would be right for Alberta. See ya.